We were all born with the innate power of knowing and wisdom within us. The challenge for many of us is that we were taught to seek answers externally instead of searching from within. And this is the reason why so many of us find ourselves going around in circles, searching for new ways, but could never find the way. The womanly way. It's not the way. It's not my way. But it is a pathway to support all of us returning back to self, reconnect with our inner wisdom through loving ourselves, knowing ourselves, and reconnecting with ourselves.
Tell me and be honest. Tell me, should I've known?
So we can start to find our own way as modern day women. Are you interested? Well, sit back, relax, and welcome to this amazing journey.
So welcome officially to the Guts mini training series. Essentially, I love the tagline. How do you go from being S scared or poo-poo scared to have the courage to take inspired action, right? And I really, really want to say that if you decided to join this program and if you have been watching my journey with the head shave and you go, oh my God, she is gutsy, she is courageous, then it's highly likely that you've got the same DNA in you, because this is what I truly believe, right? What we see in others is merely a reflection of our inner self. The reason that you see my courageous movement and you acknowledge that it's a courageous move is because that you have got that in you as well. So congratulations, welcome. And I really want you to take this moment and just acknowledge that, take that in, breathe that in, and believe in that, really believe in that you are just as courageous as I am. You are just as gutsy as I am. And you just need to find ways to tap into it. That's what this training is really all about. Finding ways to tap into your gutsy version of yourself. Right? Because I don't think everyone on this training has been in my world for that long. So I'm just going to do a brief introduction. So my name's Lala Angela Wang. I've worked in construction here in Australia for 15 years. I've also worked in Asia as part of my former training. So construction has been in majority of it's been in my blood for the majority of my adulthood. I would say my life before 32 was a bit of my asleep moment, as I would call it. And my real awakening or dark night of the soul, as a lot of spiritual people would call it, started when it was a slow start. It started when I was about 30. I literally went through what I call a quarter-life crisis, where in the end of the process, I burnt everything down and had to restart my life. But it wasn't that easy. It was almost like a rebirth, but also a lot of soul searching. So essentially, I had switched jobs, got divorced, went through completely questioning who I am, what I was. But at the end of it, it was really, I have to say, it was my gutsy version of me that saved me. Because I went through a phase where it felt like the easiest way to step over and get over that horrible version or that horrible period in my life was to commit suicide, to kill myself, to end my life. But there's always been this voice in my head going, then you would just be wasting this whole opportunity in this life. And what about your parents, right? In my head, it was like that would be the most chicken shit thing that you could do, because that's the easy way out. The hard thing would be to stay, figure out what was wrong, and rebuild this life and live an amazing life. And so that's what I did. I started personal development, and that journey leads me to my spiritual growth and my spiritual journey. And that also then led me to having my own business besides my day job in construction, as a spiritual guide, a mentor, a coach that helps women predominantly stepping into your most powerful version of you. And that includes stepping into the gutsy side of you. But for me, the most important thing and my purpose and my mission, I believe, is to help humanity tap into more of our feminine self. And do that through helping the feminine, helping the female first, because I believe once we can, I guess, help, support, whatever you want to call it, the women in our planet right now, tapping into more of our feminine in a healthy way, then we give permission to men to then also tap into their feminine. We all have masculine and feminine in us. Some people, and that's why some people prefer to call it yin and yang, right? And it's about finding the harmony within us. And really, for me, truly, that is my highest mission this lifetime. That's what I sign up for in this lifetime. Now, that could take form in many different ways. That could take form in me supporting a community. That could take form in me, helping women stepping into their leadership roles. It could mean a lot of things. It could mean different things for different people. And that's why the womanly way, I often say, isn't my way, isn't that way. It's finding your own way in expressing yourself, finding your own way in, what works best for you to create the best life ever in your own energy, in your own frequency. And this is the same applies to being gutsy. Not everybody has the same version of being gutsy. And today we're going to talk about the three different, from my perspective, I believe there are three different types of gutsiness, three different types of guts. And then we're also going to talk about what I call the initiation in terms of, how do we initiating into tapping into any aspect of ourselves? How do we tap into aspects of ourselves? How do we, tap into our true authentic self? And I believe there's a foundation, there's a pillar where we all need to go through. So I'll complete today's session by talking about that. So gutsy, three types of guts. I'm going to go, the first one is the most traditional kind of guts. And I almost see it as like Braveheart kind of situation where, it's a very masculine kind of gutsy. It's like, gotta do this, just get it done. It's like Nike, right? Just do it. It's a very masculine approach where you go, okay, this is something, I need to do something. This is what needs to be done. Just go and get it done. And for a very long time, that's what our world has operated on, right? And even, for the feminine, for the female community, because I believe we've taken on a lot of the masculine traits in the modern society, that also become a way that we prove ourselves. Gutsy is by doing, making quick decisions and just getting things done. So that's one type of gutsy. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It could be how you operate on. But to the contrary, there's another type of gutsiness that I have been tapping into lately. And that is more, interestingly, playing with words, it's more tapping into your guts, being your gut feel kind of guts, and going, okay. And it requires a bit of faith and trust, right? And often you and I get messages, downloads from my guides, from spirit, to say you need to do this. And then it's me then go, whoa, that is kind of scary, but I trust that this is what I need to do. And that is the exact process that I went through with my shave. The story about my shave is that, I was approaching 40 and I wanted to do something meaningful for my 40th birthday, because for my 30th, it was all about materialism. It was all about having the fancy restaurant, having the gift, having the celebrations. And for my 40th, I really just want to have something quiet with family and friends. And that's why going home to New Zealand was a good finale for my birthday celebration. But I want to do something meaningful. And I thought, you know what? It would be amazing if I can raise some money as part of my birthday celebration for one of my favorite children's charity, the Bear Cottage, which is part of the Sydney Children Hospital Foundation. And I was like, okay. I also promised my team during COVID that at some stage I would shave my head for charity. Because the guys all had their beards during lockdown, and they were just like, oh, we should do something for charity, and let's shave our beards. And I said, well, if you guys do that, I will shave my hair for charity, if that means we can raise a lot more money. And everyone's like, no, Ange, there's no way, you can't shave your head. I'm like, well, I can and I want to. But in the end, we didn't go ahead with the fundraiser. But I thought, to me, a promise is a promise. If I say I'll do something, I will always do something. And so I follow through with it. But there's also another reason on the side that I really want to do this. And I think I'll probably do another podcast on this and just go into a lot more detail. But to me, I was sick and tired of watching coaches, mentor, influencers on social media coming out and say, I love my body, I love myself, I fully accept myself, and wearing either nothing or close to nothing, or something that's really sort of sexy and lingerie-ish. Because for me, I think as people in the online space that is, in a position where people do look up to them, we are responsible to, I guess, show, right? We are responsible to show our people, to show people around us, to show our audiences, even to the next generation, how we can tap into our highest expression of self. And ever since I became a mom, a lot of it has been, if I do this, am I setting the best example for my children? And is this what I want my children to model? And to me, self-acceptance, self-love is not about showing my body in public, right? To me, self-acceptance and self-love is about I accepting myself regardless. And I don't need to prove to you by stripping myself naked or wearing, minimal amount of clothing. And so I was pretty scared of doing this. Shaving my head was one of my biggest fears because I don't know how I was going to look. And I was like, I may look really ugly once I shave my head, and there is no going back. You know, the one thing that I realized now I've shaved my head is that the difference between me and people who decided to go naked or wearing very little on social media to show our level of self-acceptance is that I have to live with this 24/7. There is no going back. But to take a photo and then put it on social media, or a video and put it on social media, one, I can take it down anytime. Two, once that video is done, I go back to however I want to, right? But there's no escape in this. I have to go through the process now and watch it being ugly, watch it being messy, until it grows back to the length that I want it. I live with this 24/7 now. So which one is more gutsy in terms of accepting myself? I believe this is far more gutsy than anything else, right? But I was so scared. I was so scared. I kid you not. I was having this internal battle with my, I'm going to call it my chicken poo-poo, chicken shit, my chicken poo-poo self, on why I should not do it, or why I should do it. You know, I was just like, oh, no one would know. And it even gone down as far as, so I set the fundraiser limit at 40,000. I said, I want to, if I can get to $40,000 Australian, I'm shaving my head. This is truthfully, you know, we talk about being honest and open in the online space. I said it, so I was hoping that we will not get to 40. We will not get to 40, and then we'll have to shave my head. That's the reality. That's why I set 40,000, right? And everyone's like, that's very ballsy of you to set that target. What if you don't achieve it? I'm like, well, if I don't achieve it, I don't achieve it. But throughout that process of raising funds, I was continually having the internal battle. You know, I had my colleagues up in Kingscliff, which is the border of New South Wales and Queensland, even offered one of the occasions where I went up there that she'll shave my head for me. It didn't happen because I manifested it. I make sure that we were really busy those 2 days and no one will remember, and then I don't have to do it. But in the end, I listened to my gut. I listened to the guidance. I listened to my channel, listened to, you know, spirit. And I was like, hey, Lala, you've got to do it. Because this is beyond you. This is about your mission and your purpose about empowering women. This is about supporting more children, right? This is about all the things that you stand for, and you're going to chicken out because you're scared. I did it because there was a greater mission. There's a greater purpose. And this is one of the key that we're going to talk about when we talk about the 3 initiation pillars. For us to tap into our gutsy self, sometimes we need to step in and be the parent, right? Sometimes we need to step in and be the leader and step into our own leadership and call our own BS. But you can't do that if you don't know yourself well enough. And that's the key. You know, to make gutsy moves based on your gut feels, based on your mission, your purpose, based on divine channel, divine guidance, it requires a certain amount of faith and trust, but also it requires understanding of yourself and being able to step in and go, hey, we're doing this. It's not like your masculine gutsiness, just like, gotta do it, done, right? There is a certain degree of contemplation. reflection, and really going, okay, what is the bigger game that we are playing here? What, is it really in alignment with our mission, with our purpose, or are we just doing it for ego's sake? Because especially as female, if we can find something greater than ourselves, a mission, a purpose greater than ourselves, then we are more likely to be able to step into our gutsy self. We are more likely to do things for other people, for the community, for our children, for our family, than doing things for ourselves, right? So that's the second type of guts. The third type of guts is a bit different. It's about playing the long game. What I mean by playing the long game, it is the kind of guts that you need in order to continue something that almost look like it's not going to happen. I'm talking about the Einstein, the Edison kind of thing. When he created light bulbs, he didn't just create light bulbs, right? It took him about 1,000 times. It's like Disney when he went around to banks and trying to, get them to fund Disneyland. He didn't just go to one bank. He went to quite a few of them. And finally, someone believed in him. I'm talking about if you have, a dream about building a certain career and you've asked for your promotion, you've asked for the position that you want and just keep getting knocking back, but you still continue to work towards that goal. I'm talking about any entrepreneurs starting their own business online, and the first year you may not see a result. The second year you may not see a result, but you continue to do it because you believe that is what you're meant to do. That takes guts. Having guts, having faith in what you're doing, having consistency, and continuing to show up even though it seems like you're not getting the result. And I emphasize even though it seems like, and still continue to show up. I believe that takes the most amount of guts. It takes more guts than anything else. Let's face it. Entrepreneurship, small business is competitive. And that is why 90% of the business fails and only 10% survives, right? The first year, I think, I don't remember the percentages, but I think it's something along the line like 80% of business fail in the first 3 years. Might be lower, might be higher, but something around that line. A number of business that can withstand for 10 years is like tiny. It takes guts. It takes guts to stepping into something even though it looks like it's not working, because quite often success and breakthroughs is just around the corner. So many times I heard people saying, if I just kept going for a little while longer. So that takes a different kind of guts. And I truly believe that kind of guts requires community support, requires being around like-minded people, requires a certain practice that keeps you going. And that kind of foundational practices is what I called the initiation. I have this idea about initiation when I was looking at all of the coaching and mentoring that I have received over the years, and also then looking at, all the introductory courses and things that was offered around the coaching space, especially around business. And I noticed that so many coaches and mentors offers training programs on how to become a coach, how to become a mentor, how to, set up a business, how to do all the things. But not many people actually talk about getting your foundations right. It's like I often say now that I'm a mom, stepping into womanhood, stepping into motherhood is the initiation into womanhood. But not many of us have received that training, that foundational training of womanhood, of motherhood, right? And that's why our first child is often our experiment. George is my experiment. I stumble through it because there's no training. And so I started thinking about, what are some of the foundational pieces that gave me the life that I have today? What are some of the foundational pieces that I believe every person that wanted to create a great life should incorporate into their lives as the foundational piece? And so I come up with the initiation pillars. And these are also the pillars for the womanly way. And that is to know ourselves, to love ourselves, love and accept ourselves, and to connect with our community, ourselves, spirit. And if you have all those three, have practices around all those three pillars, then that's how we begin to harmonize our lives. And when our lives is in harmony, we can create magics. Right? So know ourselves is knowing our strength, our weaknesses, knowing what we're here to do, knowing our purpose, knowing what gifts that you have that you're meant to bring to this world. Love ourselves and accept ourselves is pretty, I guess, self-explanatory, but it's easier said than done, right? It's about know yourself enough and then learn to accept all of you. And that's not easy, right? Self-acceptance is probably one of the hardest piece of homework that I have done. And still today, I'm continue to work on it. And then there's this magic piece about connection, connecting to ourselves. Like really connect through our bodies, through our mind, through our spirit. So you feel that you are one with the planet. I know this is the woo-woo piece, okay? So you feel that you're one with the planet. You feel you're one with the spirit. And from that point, you receive guidance. You receive messages. And for me, this is my spirituality piece. This is how I guess gets guidance and supports, but also this is the place where I feel the most peaceful. But it's also about connection to human as well. Finding your community, which is why I created the Womanly Way community. Finding your community, connect with the community, and use that to support you while you support others as well. I think that's really important, especially in today's society. We don't really have that tribal sense anymore. Like if you're someone like me who lives away from my family, really, I don't have a physical community like what we would have back in the days, right? Where my entire support network is around me physically. So this is what I truly believe, that we all need to start building our digital communities. And this is what I started doing in recent years, even before the pandemic. So I truly, truly believe in this digital age, we can create digital communities. And I have done it successfully. I have made so many good friends that I have never met still through the internet. And it's really about opening our heart to say, you know what, this is what I desire, this is what I want. I open my heart to trust and to connect with myself, with other people, and with spirit. One way to really tapping into your gutsy self is through journaling. The first thing I would love for you to do is to journal on if you are tapping into your gutsy self, if you're not afraid and you have tapped into your most gutsy self, what would be all of the things that's on your bucket list? So I want you to make a bucket list of all the things you would desire to do but too scared to do. But if you tap into your gutsy self, you would do. And secondly, I want you to look at which part of you, what aspect of you is the most gutsiest version of you. And perhaps what has he or she done in the past that has made you go, no, I will never tap into this part of me again. And therefore, you have silenced and locked away that part of you. And thirdly, I want you to look at which is the part of you that always comes out and go, oh, no, you can't do that. With all the reasons why you should not do something that you truly desire to do, and that's a bit scary. Which part of you is that? Is that your inner child? Is that your ego? Or is it just a part of you that's really scared? It's really trying to protect you. And if you know that part of you, what was the last conversation you had? What was the one conversation you remember you had with this part of you? And what was he or she trying to tell you? So these are the 3 journal prompts I would love for you to journal upon. And if you'd like to share, come into our community and share what you've journaled on as well. I would love to hear them. Before we go today, I also like to say to you guys, this piece around the foundational pillars, around what I call the initiation pillars, I'm actually going to run a training on these. They're going to be free initially, and I'm going to take them off the platform and turn them into an evergreen training. And that will become a foundational piece of training for anyone who wants to work with me in the womanly way, finding your own way in the womanly way. And that will be coming towards the end of this month. So if you are interested, feel free to drop me a line if you want to receive more information. But we will essentially be covering the 3 aspects of the initiation pillar, which is, again, know yourself, love yourself, and connect with yourself, the community, and spirit. I think that's all I have to say today. I feel complete. If you have any questions, feel free to ask away. Send me a direct message, or if you're in the Facebook group, just post in the group or in the comments below, hashtag the womanly way, and I will try my best to respond as soon as possible. That's it. On that note, love you all so much. I can't wait. I can't wait to explore more about guts with you guys. Bye for now.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Womanly Way. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast if you feel aligned to do so. Or check out our post-show discussions on my Instagram page @The Womanly Way. See you next time.